Hey Maple. Well, here we are, up to the last day of term before your summer break, because you guys have finished today, haven't you? But that doesn't mean to say that I'm not going to record tonight's chapter. I've had a quick look. I'm going to do two because chapter 48 is literally 1 and a little bit pages long. So let's get on with it. Chapter 48. It's 2:30 a.m. by the time everything's up in my room. Carly and I have hardly said a word, and I can tell by the look on her face that she has several words that she actually does want to say. Trouble is, I am so tired I can barely sit upright. That isn't going to stop her trying, though. Al, she starts, I'm not stupid. She's standing by my bedroom desk, looking angry. What can I say? I kind of shrug in and I didn't say you were sort of way. Are you going to tell me what this is all about? Breaking and entering, trespassing, theft? It wasn't theft, it belonged to Dad. Well, according to you, looking at that man in the house, that's probably illegal too. I mean, what are you into here, Al? And don't tell me you're trying to get in touch with your dad, because like I say, I'm not stupid. She gives me the death stare and then adds the clincher. I could always tell your mum everything. You wouldn't dare. Oh, sorry. Wouldn't I? I wouldn't dare tell her how you tricked me into robbing a house, took advantage of my spirituality. So far as I can tell, Carly's spirituality involves listening to a lot of goth music and watching the Twilight movies. But to be fair, my world is turning a lot weirder than any film. To cynically dupe me, swindle me out of £20, and then run off and leave me when I get locked in a car by a crazed man. Leave you? I didn't leave you. I came back to get you. I rescued you. She says it again. According to you, you're the one that's going to have to explain all this stolen gear in your room, and I'm sure Asif at A to Z Taxis would love to help establish the truth as well. We stare at each other for a good 20 seconds. There is no question about it, though. She has me. Can I tell you in the morning? I'm just so tired. Nope, you can tell me right now. I give a big sigh. Well, you'd better sit down then. Chapter 49. I've slept in and Grandpa Byron's waiting to take me to school when I come downstairs. Mum and Steve have already left for work and Carly's nowhere to be seen. I don't think she totally buys the time travel stuff now that I've made my big confession. No surprises there. She is intrigued though, and that's enough to buy her silence for now. But I'm going to have to produce some evidence pretty soon or I'm toast. And she's not at all happy about the £20 she spent. Grandpa Byron looks at me, shakes his head and says, Oh my flippin' lordy, what has happened to you? I suppose actually I can't look that great. I have slept for about 3 hours only, and badly at that. I'm shivering and pale, and I still haven't got my school uniform on. Instead, my dressing gown hangs loosely around me. You look like you've seen a ghost. How do you feel? And how's your kite? He means my stomach. It's one of his old Geordie words, I think. Pretty rough, actually. Now here's an opportunity to miss school, I can tell. So I make my voice croaky just to be on the safe side. Although in truth, I do actually feel really sick. Grandpa Byron pulls down my eyelids and then my bottom lip. He smells my breath and declares that I am most certainly out of balance. His remedy is what he calls a hot posset. Soon the kitchen is filled with the smell of spices. Cardamom and cinnamon are the only two I recognise, and he goes out again to fetch some others at the Bangladeshi shop. The resulting concoction, the hot posset, is warm, milky and sweet, and when I sip it, I already feel a little bit better. There, you see, balance is everything. He pauses, and I see his eyes flick over to me. I was telling this to your father only the other day. Grandpa Byron has a sort of faraway look in his eyes when he says this, but then I see him glance at me again to check that I am listening. To Dad? What do you mean? I mean just what I say. Even though your father has passed on from this life, that does not mean that he is forgotten. Of course not. Well then, imagine using the power of your mind to transcend time, Al. Thanks to your namesake, Mr. Einstein, the whole world knows that time is relative. It can be different depending on what you're doing. So he knows then, or knows something at any rate. Stuff like this doesn't come out of the blue. I say nothing, which I figure is probably for the best and the safest thing to do while my mind is absolutely racing. I think of Dad's letter when he quoted Einstein's idea of putting your hand on a hot stove and it seeming like ages, and I sip more of the spicy medicine-y milk. The scholars of the Sri Kalpana knew this many, many, many years ago, Al. Ah, the old Sri Kalpana, Grandpa Byron's prized book that I haven't quite got round to finishing yet. It's on the kitchen table in front of me under a pile of other stuff, but it's poking out. Still, I say nothing. The mysteries of the universe are multituous. Al, the answers lie within us, not without. Your father and now you, I think, and here he pauses, narrowing his eyes a little. You both seek to transcend these wonders in the physical realm from which only misery can arise. I love the way Grandpa Byron talks, but sometimes it gets a little, dense. I'm walking through a dark forest of words and looking for a clearing of sense. He sees that I'm getting confused. I know what you have been doing, Al. I am not stupid. Apparently everyone around me at the moment has the idea that I think they are stupid. I never said you were. I'm getting a little bit defensive now, and Grandpa Byron can tell. Don't try being smart with me, bonny lad. I'm trying to help you. My book, which I see you have not read, aimed to assist you in this regard. I put on a pained expression. I'm sorry. I have tried. It's just so difficult to understand. You betcha. But not so difficult to understand is why you would risk everything on this ludicrous adventure of your father's. I stare at Grandpa Byron, unsure of what to say. I can tell where this is heading, though, and I don't like it. I can feel myself being cornered, hemmed in by his calmness, and the pretty inescapable fact that he's right. It is a ludicrous adventure, or at least very dangerous. I hate it when adults do this, and the only thing I can do is to get all self-righteous to try to steer the argument. I stare at him angrily. You read my letter, didn't you? The one from Dad to me. Instead of answering me directly, he comes to the kitchen table and sits down opposite me. One of the hardest things in life, Al, is to accept the things that cause us pain, absorb them, and then continue. And no, I did not read your letter, but I imagine it was to do with your father's experiments in, for want of a better expression, time travel. And what if it was? Then you are at liberty to follow your heart, but that is not always the wisest option. And what if I had the chance to stop Dad from dying, huh? Wouldn't you want that? I'm getting a bit upset now, and I've raised my voice, but Grandpa Byron remains unperturbed, which infuriates me further. He just wobbles his head and says, Death, Al, is not the end. As it says in the Sri Kalpana, live life so completely that when death comes to you like a thief in the night, there will be nothing left for him to steal. And so, I should do just nothing? I have this ability, and I should do just nothing? Can you hear yourself? You sit there, spouting this so-called wisdom like you're, I don't know, Yoda or something, And all the while Dad is still dead and you don't want to do anything about it. My cheeks are hot and my throat is wobbling, but I'm not crying. That comes later. Still, Grandpa Byron just blinks slowly and reaches across the table to pick up his precious book. But you cannot undo what has been done, Al. It may appear that you can, but you cannot. It may appear that you can change your world by going back in time and altering it, but you are merely creating another world and living in that instead. Escaping is not changing. That actually makes quite a lot of sense if you think about it. Well, I want to escape then. Don't do it, Al. It cannot make you happier. How not? How not? I can hardly speak. I'm so angry. Don't you even want to see Dad again? But I can, Al, by what? By mediating? Is that it? You can dream about him. You can think about him. Goodness, I can do that. Anyone can do that. But actually meet him. Wouldn't you like to do that? Well, I have. Got that? I have. And I'm going to do it again. Gosh, he is a bit cross, isn't he? And I said mediating. I meant to say meditating. Sorry, Maple. Don't do it, Al. Please, for goodness sake, just stop. You're playing with things that what? I don't understand? Like you understand everything? Oh, holy wise mystic? Give me a break. You and your Kalpana is just mumbo-jumbo for people who can't handle reality. Take it away, and go away yourself. Grandpa Byron says nothing more. In fact, that's the last thing I say to him. With an expression of deep, deep hurt on his face, he picks up the old book and just silently leaves the house. I hear his moped coughing and spluttering down the street, but, in case you were wondering, this is not when I start crying. My mind is just racing with what I have to do. Gosh, Al, I mean, he loves his Grandpa Byron, but he did get a little bit cheeky towards him, didn't he? But I think that just goes to show how upset he is about everything that's going on and what he can or cannot do. So we will end it there, Maple. Now, this is for tomorrow, and I know school is over now, summer break, but look, we're halfway through a book. I cannot leave you dangling like that, and I certainly want to finish the book anyway. So what I'm going to do, Maple, I'm going to carry on recording chapters throughout the summer break. So if you still want to dip in and have a little read or a little listen, it's entirely up to you. But for now, have a lovely weekend and set no alarms for Monday. You don't need to set any. First day of your holidays. Okay? Make sure you enjoy them and rest and do lovely things that you want to do. Okay then. Well, I'll speak to you again on Monday. Take care, lovelies. Bye for now. Bye.